Welcome to Psych with Sigmund, the podcast where we explore the fascinating world of psychology and its relevance to our everyday lives. I'm your host, Sigmund, and today we're going to talk about a concept that has revolutionized the way we learn and remember information: the testing effect. The testing effect refers to the phenomenon where actively recalling information from memory strengthens our ability to retain it over time. In other words, testing ourselves on what we've learned is a powerful way to solidify it in our long-term memory. This concept is important because it challenges traditional notions of learning and memory, which often emphasize rereading or passively reviewing material. The idea of the testing effect has been around for centuries, but it wasn't until the late 19th century that psychologists like Hermann Ebbinghaus began to study it systematically. Ebbinghaus, a German psychologist, discovered that when he tested himself on a list of words, he was able to recall them more accurately than if he had simply reread the list. This finding laid the groundwork for modern research on the testing effect. From a theoretical perspective, the testing effect can be explained by several psychological frameworks. One key concept is the idea of retrieval practice, which suggests that actively recalling information from memory strengthens the connections between neurons in our brain. This process, known as consolidation, helps to transfer information from short-term to long-term memory. Another important framework is the theory of cognitive load, which proposes that our brains have limited capacity for processing information. By testing ourselves, we're able to reduce cognitive load and free up resources for more efficient learning. Numerous studies have demonstrated the effectiveness of the testing effect in various contexts. For example, a classic study by Rudiger and Karpik found that students who were tested on material they had learned retained it better than students who simply reread the material. More recent research has extended these findings to real-world settings, such as education and therapy. For instance, a study published in the Journal of Educational Psychology found that students who use testing as a learning strategy perform better on exams than those who didn't. So, how can you apply the testing effect in your everyday life? One practical example is to use flashcards when studying for an exam or trying to learn new vocabulary. By actively recalling the information on each card, you'll be strengthening your ability to retain it over time. Another strategy is to summarize what you've learned in your own words, rather than simply rereading your notes. This process, known as self-testing, can help you identify areas where you need more practice and reinforce your understanding of the material. The testing effect also has implications for therapy and personal growth. For example, exposure therapy, which is commonly used to treat anxiety disorders, relies on the testing effect to help individuals gradually become desensitized to their fears. By repeatedly testing themselves in a controlled environment, individuals can develop more adaptive coping strategies and reduce their symptoms. Doesn't it just lead to rote memorization or stress? And that's a valid concern. While the testing effect can be a powerful tool for learning, it's essential to strike a balance between testing and other learning strategies, such as spaced repetition and contextual learning. Additionally, excessive testing can lead to burnout or decreased motivation, so it's crucial to use this strategy in moderation and in conjunction with other approaches. In conclusion, the testing effect is a fascinating concept that has far-reaching implications for education, therapy, and personal growth. By harnessing the power of retrieval practice, we can improve our memory, enhance our learning, and develop more effective coping strategies. As my experience with clients has shown me, the testing effect can be a game changer for individuals looking to overcome obstacles and achieve their goals. So, how can you start applying the testing effect in your own life? Try incorporating testing and practice into your daily routine, whether it's through flashcards, quizzes, or simply summarizing what you've learned in your own words. Experiment with different strategies and find what works best for you. And remember, the key to successful learning is not just about accumulating knowledge. It's about actively engaging with that knowledge and reinforcing it through practice and retrieval. That's all for today's Psych with Sigmund. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, may your ego find balance between pleasure and reality.